After a listing goes under contract, we still have to get through the inspection. Any buyer will have your property inspected, and they will always find something that they want to negotiate. Getting through the inspection is the biggest hurdle after going under contract.
We can almost always get past the easier nickel and dime items that buyers are asking for. They're going to ask you to clean and service the air conditioner, maybe fix a broken seal on a window, or caulk the outside of the home. These are pretty easy items.
The deal killer items that we see are foundation, major plumbing problems, buyers asking for a new roof or a new HVAC, or major electrical issues. These are all really expensive fixes, so it's really tough to keep a contract together if these come up.
Foundation issues are one of the most common walkaway items. If a buyer thinks a property has structural problems, they usually don't want to buy the home. Homes that were built in the 1960s or earlier can have foundation problems, as can homes of any age that are built on expansive clay. While this is a critical issue, knowing about it upfront will allow us to properly market your property to the right buyer who is willing to take on this type of deficiency.
Homes built in the 1970s or earlier will usually have cast iron plumbing underneath the house, and those pipes are old enough now that they're rusting. If a buyer has a hydrostatic test performed, there's a good chance it will fail, and it can cost tens of thousands of dollars to fix. This is a pretty tricky situation, and it requires a lot of negotiating to find common ground and keep a deal together.
If you have an older roof, it can cost $8,000 to $15,000 or more to replace it. It's pretty common for a roof to work just fine and have no leaks, but an inspector will still call it out as needing a replacement. If this happens, we're usually able to negotiate a partial credit, since a buyer shouldn't have expected a new roof on a resale property.
Just like a roof, if an air conditioning system is at the end of its life, an inspector will likely call it out as needing to be replaced. It's super similar to a roof because the HVAC system can be performing just fine, but the inspector is going to convince the buyer that it needs to be replaced. We can also usually negotiate a partial credit in this case, much like the roof.
Major electrical issues can be problematic because they sound so scary. The reality is that electrical issues usually aren't as expensive as an HVAC or a roof. We've found that it's usually best for you to go ahead and make the repair to keep the deal together because it's not super expensive.